Welcome, everyone, to the Inside Story podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of building diverse businesses and becoming a successful entrepreneur. I'm your host, Dursun Halimova. I'm a business coach and facilitator on a mission to help build impactful businesses. Today, we are taking a sneak peek at Clean Something for Nothing. It's a social impact startup, and I have my guest today, César González Fernández, who is the founder of this initiative. He and his team have a vision for a cleaner and healthier environment. They connect people to clean the world one bag of trash at a time through their mobile application. They raise awareness about consumption choices. They empower people to take environmental action, and they build a community by bringing together and encouraging people to collaborate and work together for a healthier and cleaner environment. Welcome, Cesar. It's great to have you on my podcast.
Thank you so much, Dursun. Thank you for having me.
Great. So to start off, Cesar, if I can ask you, I will read a few unfinished sentences and I would like you to finish them for me, please.
Let's go.
Being an entrepreneur means
Full-time focus.
building an impactful business requires
Time, commitment, and passion.
great. Failure is
Never trying.
success is a result of
This one. I think success is a process. It's the result of the sum of many efforts.
all right. And the final one, being fulfilled in life means
Be happy with what you have and have the people around you that you like.
yeah, that's a great one. Thank you so much for sharing these. So I want to start off by sharing few very encouraging but also eye-opening, for me at least, statistics that I found while learning about CSFN, which stands for Clean Something for Nothing initiative. So far, since your launch, you have registered over 4,000 cleanups from hundreds of litter picker heroes in 65 countries, which represent a total of 825,000 kilos of trash that, thanks to you and the team effort, won't be polluting our environment anymore. So with that context in mind, can you briefly share with us, with our audience, how exactly you connect people to clean the world and why is it important?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So I'll go back to the beginning. It all started as a hobby in 2018 by picking up litter. I was on a trip with my wife, the person that today is my wife, on a camper van, and we were picking up litter everywhere we would go before taking the chairs and the tables outside to eat or to have breakfast. We would spend just 5-10 minutes to clean the area, and then we would feel better. We would enjoy better the moment. So as a hobby, posting these collections on Instagram and using the hashtag, the hashtag became kind of viral. So we have over 14,000 posts that are using the hashtag Clean Something for Nothing. That was little by little, obviously, right by the time, picking up more litter, sharing with one another, because the beautiful thing about this is that there are people across the globe doing the same thing, and we are all together for the same purpose, no matter where you are from, your background, religion, origin, no matter, you are connected in a way with somebody which is in, I don't know, Japan or South Korea. It became, we had a lot of use on the hashtag, and my friend Lester and me, which are both the persons behind Clean Something for Nothing, we are half and half of the project. We decided that we needed to see how many people was there. 14,000 posts, how many kilos are, how many cleanups, and that was when the idea of the app sparkled. I can tell you then a bit more if you want. But yeah,
Sure, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so, right. There was a time the app was needed. So first, let's check the existing apps. Maybe we find one that we can use. We checked like 15 different apps, and we realized that they were very data oriented. That means you, as a user, after picking up litter, you have to spend quite an amount of time by categorizing this litter. That means you should say, if you pick up this piece, if it's plastic, is it a wrap? Is it a bottle? And you need to categorize basically piece by piece, which is great for the data. Obviously, it helps us to understand which kind of litter is in which place, and is valuable. But for the user, we realized it was not the best, because for us as users, we really don't have the time always to spend this much time categorizing the cleanup and then posting it. We wanted to be then user oriented. So after checking all these apps, we saw good points, bad points, and with this information, and thanks to many community groups that we found on Instagram, we did one-on-one conversations. We were, okay, if you had an app, what would be your best litter picking app? And then talking, discussing, having feedback. With this information and the information from other apps, we were ready to build what today is Clean Something for Nothing. It's a citizen engagement tool oriented to the user to pick up litter all together in a fun and easy way. That's basically it. We launched the mobile app on February 2022. And yeah, as you said, today it's already 65 countries with more than 4,000 cleaners. Yeah, this last month we are having about 200 cleanups, more than 200 cleanups per month. Yeah, it depends on the month, but yeah, it's really nice to see this community behind.
It's impressive. And so as I understand, then application is available in so many different countries. And how do people, so once a person, let's say in the other part of the world, joins the app, do they just then go around and pick trash and record the information about the trash collected on the app, or they organize? Because I think it can be either individual or kind of a group initiative, as I understand, right?
Yeah, you can do cleanups individually, solo, your own, or you can do cleanups with a friend. For instance, we could do a cleanup together, and then we would tag the two of us on the cleanup. And the result is, imagine we pick up one bag, which is 5 kilos. Then if you tag me or if I tag you, we are splitting this amount, 2.5 for you, 2.5 for me. It's automatically done by the app. And to your question, how do people know about our existence? Maybe that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Well, very organically, let me tell you, because of Instagram, I believe, a lot, most of it. We have a quite engaged community on Instagram where we share other people's cleanups that are in our app, so that we give more voice to our community. We try to be an enabler. We are not branding other people with our own logos, but instead we are taking these local cleanup groups up there to be recognized and to be seen by other litter pickers. So that is because we believe these litter picking groups are the cornerstone of change. Like, for us, is the most important, if you can call, audience that we can that we have to take care, and we have to help, and we have to give all our best, because they are driving real change locally, acting locally, but thinking globally.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, impact comes from the people who are living in specific communities, right? Especially in communities that might have a lot of litter, a lot of trash that are polluted. And yeah, I mean, I applaud to the initiative. It's impactful what you're doing, and quite impressive. Just in a couple of years, you've already accomplished this much in terms of the amount of trash you managed to collect. When you started the initiative, did you envision it to be where it is today in terms of the number of people who are engaged with your app and number of, or the kilos of trash that has been collected?
No, I was although I was hoping that this could reach a big audience and people would wake up and stop littering, because at the end of the day, that's what we fight for. Littering is something that is not normal, even though sometimes it's normalized. So no, I wouldn't have guessed that we would be at this point what we are today. It started all as a hobby, and it became more serious by the time. But the more we are digging on this, the more we realize we can help the world, and we can help communities by making it more professionally and improving the app, and bringing more value to the table at the end of the day.
Why do you think this is important? And what positive impact do you see through initiatives like yours, where you try to, as you said, kind of educate, empower people, and also spotlight people who are already doing these initiatives, right? And
Yeah.
give them the credit, visibility, recognition to the hard work they're doing by changing their own behaviors in terms of stopping littering, but also picking up litter after other people, right? So why do you think this is so important, and what is the impact you are after?
Yeah, as you said, more like raising awareness about
Mhm.
this littering problem. Because, I mean, 825,000 kilos are a lot of litter, really a lot of it. And this is all thanks to individual efforts. It's been picked by hand. So
Mm.
can you imagine if everybody would pick up litter in the world for just one day, one day a year? Like the societal change of all these persons by picking up litter, you not only pick up litter of somebody else, you wonder, you self think and reflect, and
Mhm.
you might see, okay, why is this thing there? It doesn't belong here. Why is this can in here? So you wonder many things, and probably if you pick up litter one day, it's very likely that you will never litter if you ever did, because we don't take people as bad or good. We think if people is littering is because they are not aware. Um, take the example of cigarette butts, right? How many people
Mhm.
smokes? How many people flip the cigarette? Are those people bad? No, they are just not aware. They is this a habit that is we need to cut. We need to say, okay, for instance, cigarette butts. One single cigarette butt can pollute up to 500 liters of non-salty water. Loads of
Wow.
chemicals in there. There are, I think, 8 million cigarette butts per minute that are being thrown on the floor. Maybe I'm not having the right number, but I believe this is the number. So it's really, it's a big problem. It costs billions of euros for the EU countries. In the US, there are many statistics that say it's a big problem, monetary wise, environmentally wise,
Mhm.
wildlife as well is affected. So there is a big problem. That's for sure. So it's our responsibility, all of us. So as individuals, as companies, as municipalities, even as schools, to do our little part to make a better future for all of us. That's what we believe.
On the face of it, your initiative seems and sounds so simple, right? Clean
It
something
is.
for nothing. And this is something that maybe a lot of people will think, well, how important is this to pick up trash after someone else? But I agree. I mean, I think there is a lot of impact in terms of raising awareness. I think to solve any problem, especially of big scale problem like this one, right? Environmental pollution, it starts with awareness raising. Just as you said, for people to understand how their behavior, how their actions might have big impact. And oftentimes, yes, we don't know, right? We go by our day doing the things that we are used to do in a certain way, giving little thought about what kind of negative impact our behavior might have. So it's great to hear that your initiative, first of all, raises awareness and makes us stop and think, oh, yes, why is this trash here in the first place?
Yeah.
Amazing. And I think you also touched upon the community aspect of this initiative, right? It's not only the responsibility of individuals. On our own, we can go this far, and as a community, companies and schools, we can go much further and collect more and achieve greater impact. So maybe if you can touch upon briefly about what kind of initiatives you envision. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you've already started trying to involve local communities and companies, I think, right? In trying to engage them as a group. So it's not just one person or a group of friends, but it's actually teams and companies across countries, maybe, especially if it's a big multinational company, right? Doing these cleanup activities across different offices in different countries. So if you could maybe briefly tell us, what do you do in terms of community engagement?
Yeah, of course. So community, why communities are important is because why communities are important is because when you are in community, you have more power. You feel that you are not alone on this, and it's also better to share, moments with like-minded people. So when you talk about companies, it's nice that they participate on team building, and the employees are aware of this issue. But also, it's nice if they can complement these activities with change in their operations. So, for instance, they do a cleanup with us, and it's great. We all have a fun during the activity. We see how many kilos we collected. But also, they commit to stop using single-use plastic, and they put, for instance, like a filter of water so that people can bring their own reusable and fill the water in. That's more the objective is, okay, this activity of the cleanup serve as a first step into this taking action part. And now that we are aware, we are going to do this small change that will help in the future. Likewise happens with well, it's not the same with the schools, but we also want to help the schools so that kids are aware from an early age about this problem. They also love litter picking. I can recommend you here one group from Ireland, which I had the pleasure to meet last week. They are called Picker Pals.
Picker Pals.
Picker Pals, yeah. They have a beautiful school program for kids where they bring them a kit for cleanups. So a small litter picker for kids, a small bag, so they feel really empowered to go out there and pick up the litter. Yeah. So these initiatives are really great regarding the schools. And lastly, so I said companies, I said schools. We personally also have a campaign for municipalities. It's a campaign that combines both awareness and sensibilization and action through the app. So citizens can take action by using the app. They can either clean up, of course, and they can either or they can alert about illegal dumps in the forest. Sometimes you see horrible things in the forest, and with our app you can also create an alert and notify the responsible municipality of the region. That's why in community is important, because we are all together in this and we need to support each other.
Exactly. And I think you are doing such a great job by taking this simple yet, very impactful kind of first step for individuals as well as companies or schools. It doesn't take a lot to start acting responsibly, right? Or educating children about the importance of clean and healthy environment. And it's great to see how you are kind of bringing everything together, right? So it's not just individuals or groups or companies, but they are actually all acting together, and also involving local municipalities, because I guess they are in a position to then also kind of take bigger action, right? Especially if it comes to illegal dumping, they are in a position to take some action, especially maybe legal action in terms of that.
Add on that, you also, as a municipality, you implement a long-term solution, because if your citizens are aware, they love the place they live, they protect it in a way, by being in the app. We call them guardians, people who post alerts, or litter pickers, people who pick up trash. You are in a way investing in the future to reduce your cleaning costs in the future, to have a more engaged citizenship. Yeah, so it's good for everybody in this way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also great for companies, right? Who on the first hand might think, we have nothing to do with this initiative, but actually as you pointed out, it is a great way for them to rethink their own maybe consumption behaviors, right? So like by introducing simple and cost-effective ways to minimize their own waste, but also such a great team building activity, right? Like when you kind of engage your whole team across the company to do something good. All right, great. Thank you so much, César. And maybe what I will ask you next has to do with more about you, because I would love to help our audience to learn a bit more about you. As far as I know, based on my brief research, you already co-founded a clothing company in 2010, 2016. So you are not first-time entrepreneur. And you are also very active, not only through your mobile app, but also by different through various also European initiatives and local initiatives. You are EU Climate Pact Ambassador for the European Commission, the board member at the Serve the City Luxembourg initiative, and a country leader for the World Cleanup Day in Luxembourg, among many other things. So just to give a perspective to our audience that you are pretty experienced as well as very engaged social entrepreneur, can you take us back to the beginning of your professional journey? How did you arrive to where you are now?
Sure, that's a long question. I'll try to give the short version because it
Please
can be
do.
super long. Okay. You mentioned the first clothing company I founded. It was three of us, Salva, Andres, and me, and we were first year university students. So this was a clothing company, local clothing company for skateboarders, surfers, and people who love mountain bike. It's basically what we loved. So we said, we had a group of people and we decided to start with some t-shirts, and these 50 t-shirts were sold kind of quickly. And then we said, okay, nice, people like our designs, they like the t-shirt, so we print more of them, and we were hand printing them. And yeah,
Wow.
it turned out to be a fun experience. Of course, it was not as professional as, I mean, I didn't know the things we didn't know, I think none of us, the things we know now, but it was definitely a great experience. Yeah. And more about my professional life, I was first studied international business for years. Then I was working in the luxury industry, selling high-end shoes for women in Paris. Then soon I moved to purchasing interior design, decoration, and furniture for a French Parisian company. This was very, yeah, I was there 3 years. I went to Malaga to the production site, and then I did this small trip with my wife, and then Luxembourg. I've been being a purchaser and back officer for a fashion, also fashion concept store in Luxembourg and in Belgium. This is
Amazing.
basically,
So
yeah.
So that's a long kind of professional experience, especially in the retail and fashion, as I can understand.
Yeah. Curious, right? It's one of the most polluted industries, probably the second, I don't know, fashion industry.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's, yeah, sometimes it's what it is. And if you ask me about this entrepreneurial aspect, I think it's just curiosity. If you are curious enough, I think you end up being an entrepreneur in a way or another.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you don't necessarily have to build a business necessarily, right?
No,
As long as you find a problem and you want to solve it and you find a way to solve it. I mean, that what I call entrepreneurship and innovation and creativity
yeah,
to use to be curious and to be curious enough to solve the problems that you see around you. So maybe following up on your professional journey, were there any particular skills or personality traits or maybe even people who you think were instrumental in your success?
indeed. If we talk about clean something for nothing, meeting Lester definitely was a game changer. Everything got to the next level. Basically, we built a very solid mobile app. He was basically the man behind. He's very good at tech and developing
Mm-hmm.
mobile apps. He is somebody who is mega curious as well. If he doesn't know something, he would go find out. He never finds limits. He always finds solutions. So yeah, for sure, there are many people along the way, many people, and there's still so many people to come because I believe this will stay for a longer time. And you, as an entrepreneur, you learn every single day. To be honest, I don't want to be too humble, but it's the reality. There are million things you don't know, and the most important is to have or surround yourself by the people who know way more than you and can
Mm.
help you with your constant challenges on the day by day.
Yeah, talking about challenges, maybe I can jump and ask a question there. Are there any unique challenges that you have experienced that might be because you are the impact driven, socially driven entrepreneur, or because you have an application that promotes health and clean environment, or be it because you are hoping to change people's behavior about their consumption and so on, or maybe even operating your social enterprise from Luxembourg. Are there any particular challenges that you experience given your specific social enterprise?
Yes, indeed. From opening the company, something you
Mm-hmm.
don't know exactly what's the process to get your social security number, register your company, and draft the status. There are plenty of things. Like, to be honest, many challenges, and then you get used to challenges in general, and you kind of lose the fear sometimes because
Mm.
you're ready to do whatever it takes. And something this challenging thing, it's, I mean, at least my experience. Sometimes you're here, sometimes you're here, sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bit like a roller coaster. Some days you receive an email and you are very off. Some other days you receive an email or a call or any other thing, and you're up there again. So my suggestion would be to confront challenges as they are. Try to. There is somebody I admire a lot. It's the founder of Factorial, Jordi. He said once, this this meme that there is this dog having a cup of coffee, and in the
Mm-hmm.
background there is this building in flames, and
Mm.
the dog is saying everything is just fine. That's basically the attitude that you might have uh, when running a startup. Everything is on fire, but it is what it is. You must try to remain calm and do what you can do, and try to be, you know, as better fit as you can to cope with the difficulties that come.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a talent to really learn to remain, to keep your peace, right? Especially in the middle of chaos, and there's
Yeah,
so much uncertainty and so much happening, things that you don't know, as you said. Um, Let me dig a bit deeper here, if you don't mind sharing
sure.
with us. During your entrepreneurial journey, was there any moment that you questioned yourself, questioned your abilities, or whether what you were doing was worth it?
Yes, not only one, multiple
Mm,
days.
multiple times. Okay.
Yeah, but then the more times that you question it, then you also know that there are better days. So it looks weird, but you kind of normalize it. Of course, we really have the vision that this is a long-term solution and that the problem is there and that we have the capacity to solve it. So this remains solid like a rock from the day one. Our mission and vision is super clear. We envision a litter-free world in a conscious and collaborative society. That's what we envision. So that never changes. It's always there and we pursue it. But it's true, as you say, sometimes things are not as planned and you question many things from yourself, from some conversations you have with some people that bring you down, but then some other people bring you up. So yeah, the answer is yes, multiple times.
So you have any secret? How do you keep your
Secret.
mojo, as
Oof.
they say? So how, if another entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur listening to this conversation and they are going through this doubtful period, what is your one piece of advice? How do other entrepreneurs can come out of this doubtful situation and pursue their vision?
By talking to other entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps a lot. It did help me a lot, at least, because if you ask the wrong person, I mean, saying the wrong person by maybe somebody who not necessarily understands your business model or anything, you may not find any solution. But if you ask a founder, it's very likely that this person has more empathy and probably passed through your journey, especially if it's a successful founder. So this morning I had the chance to talk to Mathieu, somebody which is a very successful founder here in Luxembourg with VR glasses. And in a way, this conversation, helped me a lot. Not that I was asking for it, but it did help me a lot, and entrepreneurs normally help each other. We have this spirit that to share everything, at least in my side, I share everything I know, try to help others as others did with me as well.
I agree. I think there is a power in sharing. At least, if there is one thing you understand that you are human, just like any other successful, maybe unsuccessful entrepreneur, right? So we have much in common, and there's a lot we can learn from each other.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
And your podcast, for instance, is another source to get also inspiration. And yeah, it's all counts. All counts.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's in a way, my mission is to kind of provide the platform to diverse entrepreneurs, share their stories, because I think there is so much we can learn. And there's so many other people with brilliant ideas, but they may be lacking something, maybe a bit of self-confidence, or maybe they're afraid of uncertainty and, fear of failure and so on. So I hope our conversation can help people pursue their passion. I think the world needs a lot of creativity and entrepreneurship for good use. Yeah. And maybe coming back to this good use and social entrepreneurship, in your opinion, what are the main misconceptions about building and running an impactful business or impact-focused business?
Misconceptions regarding conflict between being very impactful or being profit-driven, or what kind of
Yeah, it can be that. Yes. What do you think people, kind of don't fully understand when they hear social entrepreneurship, right? Which is unlike pure startup, which kind of the primary focus, not only, but the primary is focused on making profit, right? Finding a solution, profitable solution to a problem. Whereas social entrepreneurship, in my opinion, brings the best of like business world and NGO world, but it is also focused on making income. So it is sustainable in the long run. But at the core, as in your case with your initiative, the point is to serve the planet or the humanity.
I mean, you have said it very clearly. It's combining both aspects. You must have your social environment or environmental or both KPIs. Be sure that you are making more impact the more you grow, and better to serve the community or to improve the environment. But on the other side, you cannot forget the business side, because otherwise none of this will work. If there is not business model behind, if you don't get any money, you cannot impact much.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to keep the both worlds connected. And yeah, it's important that now there is more. I think it's more. We are more a company uh, impact startups, because there is more people that appreciate our work, and in
Hmm.
the society is better seen. You know, it's something that at the beginning people would not understand at all, but now I think it's something that people appreciate. And there are many really nice projects out there. Yeah, it's more common. It's not, they don't look at you weird when you say that you have an impact startup.
Yeah, certainly. I think I've also witnessed also how, in terms of startup investment and fundraising, right, evolved over the past few years.
Oh,
It has been, in the beginning, it hasn't been very easy for social entrepreneurs to raise funds, because oftentimes investors didn't really understand the concept, right? And I think more and more investors, as well as government initiatives, are targeting specifically social enterprises to really, yes, tap into both. Why
right.
not make an impact while you can also make money, make profit?
Definitely. Definitely.
And so, looking back now at Clean Something for Nothing initiative since it was started, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment? What are you most proud of so far?
The community. I mean, the app is amazing, but none of that makes any sense without the people that is behind from many different parts of the world. You see them all together. There is a ranking in the app, right? So some users share this ranking on social media, and then they look at each other. It's a way to compete, but together
Hmm.
for a better world. And I think the community, I would say community.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think the more digitally connected we become, I feel like the more there is a need for also kind of local communities, as you also touched upon in the beginning of our conversation, right? It's not just kind of the virtual, but also local. These, even if they are small, but they are like locally driven initiatives and communities, I think are so important.
Yes. And also being a bit outside in this digitalized world, doing a cleanup
Hmm.
always has to be outside. And if you do that in a beautiful forest, it's something you would likely enjoy. And yeah,
Yeah. That's indeed. I love nature, and like you, I also love going on hikes and biking. So that's something I always do, especially when I feel anxious or stressed. I think nature has a powerful way to calm us down and make us feel grounded. So I think it's so great that what you are doing with your team to kind of help us take initiatives, but also appreciate the environment that we have and really care and make sure it lasts, right, for
hmm,
the generations to come, and so they can also enjoy the beautiful nature we have.
definitely, that's the goal.
Yeah. And maybe one other question. We will wrap up soon, but I'm curious to hear what is on the horizon for you and for your team. Any plans, any initiatives that are upcoming, any big goals you have that you want to share with us that we should be watching out for?
Of course, there are always things going on. So there is another important event that I really invite you all to participate. It's the World Cleanup Day.
Hmm.
This year, the World Cleanup Day is become part of the UN calendar, and it will be celebrated on the 20th of September, which is on a Friday, I believe. So from now on, the World Cleanup Day is officially recognized, and this movement is the origin of, let's say, the origins of most of litter pickers today, because they started in 2018, and they mobilized 191 countries and millions of people across the
Wow.
globe during one day to clean up our mother nature. So I invite you to have a look. Just type working a day, and then you'll find all the information. And yeah, regarding Clean Something for Nothing, we've been incorporated very recently as a professionally as a startup. So for us now, we want to help municipalities and
Hmm.
more companies and keep driving the change together, hand by hand, and build long-lasting relationships. And we have a small, it's a new feature inside the app that will imply tree planting for people who pick up litter. But we will explain more of that in the coming weeks.
All right, cool. So our listeners should certainly check out the application Clean Something for Nothing and join the initiatives. What is one thing you would say our listeners should take home from our conversation today?
Right. So I would say small efforts repeated by many lead to global changes. That's something as true as the air. I don't know. It's super. Yeah, I would say that. And I invite you all to jump on Clean Something for Nothing mobile app to add your bit, whether you are walking your dog, you are on a picnic, or you are in nature for any reason. You can always do your bit. Every piece counts. Every piece removed from nature, it's something less there. And it's part of the solution. So everything is important. I encourage you all to clean something for nothing.
Great. Thank you so much, César. And I guess our listeners, if they want to connect to you, they can find you on LinkedIn. And I think the platform is also available on all app stores, right?
Yes, it's available worldwide in 3 languages, English, French, and Spanish. Both for iOS and Android. You can, of course, join with me on LinkedIn, or with Lester on LinkedIn as well. And on our Instagram, we are very active on Instagram. We share many stories and many cleanups in there.
So, and I guess it's the same name, Clean Something for Nothing?
Yeah, Clean Something for Nothing in all the platforms. You can find us in that way. And I want to lastly really thank you, because this gives us voice, and it's so important to be recognized as well by a podcast like yours. So we are really, really grateful for the opportunity as well.
Thank you, César. I really appreciated our conversation. It was wide-ranging, informative, and inspirational to me. I hope our listeners will find it also inspirational and join you and everyone else to clean our environment one bag of trash at a time. And yes, thank you so much for joining us on the Inside Story podcast and for sharing your wealth of knowledge and your experience. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.